Could you first tell me, I know that you've been to Scandinavia. What was your impression?
My favourite place in Scandinavia was Sweden. They seem to be quite health conscious. I don't know if that's true or not. They appeared to be. And it seemed a very modern place, very high with technology and or high up in the ranks of technology, and really nice designs over there. It's very hard for me to get an opinion of a place that I'm only in for one day. I had one day in Norway, one day in Sweden. And, you know, I really can't tell what the country was like, but the people were nice.
Good. Tell me a little about the new album, in what way it differs from your first one.
It's called Enjoy Yourself, and it's quite different to the first album. I'm very excited. I can't wait till it comes out, because I know that I've progressed and Stockache and Waterman have progressed, and we're more used to working with each other. And the songs, well, it's a much more varied album. It's got a ballad, which my first album didn't really have a ballad. And it's got a 50s cover song, another 50s style song, a kind of jazz song, a couple of house tracks and dance tracks. So it's got a bit of everything. I think it's great. The guys have excelled themselves.
Which track is your favourite on them?
My favourite would be one of two, either Telltale Signs or Enjoy Yourself.
Why?
Telltale Signs is a very different song for me. It's a style of song that I really enjoy. It's like a cross between jazz and blues or something, but it's not. I mean, jazz and blues singers wouldn't fit if they heard me saying that, but it's got a bit of that feel, and I love that kind of music, so I was very excited. And when I was recording it, Mike Stock was saying, pretty much tongue-in-cheek, but saying, you know, make it your song, and it was really great to have a free rein and just do whatever I felt in the song. And Enjoy Yourself is just a great dance song. It's just lots of fun.
Did you have more input on this album, since you know the producers more, you can actually talk?
I felt more at ease to say what I thought, which was better. Still the same situation, they write the songs for me, I go in and record them. It's a very quick process. But I mean, I had more fun doing it. I was much more relaxed and more confident, and you know, doing the second album was difficult because to beat the first one, I thought, oh no, I'll never do it, but I really think we have, and you know, it's great to be a part of all that.
Do you train your voice and take dance lessons and stuff? Because you seem to be better.
I don't have time for either of those, but you know, dance lessons and so forth, I try and go dancing when I can. Rehearsals for film clips or for shows. I've been dancing a lot lately, rehearsing for these concerts and singing at the same time. So I sort of practice in that way, but I don't have time to go to lessons. I wish I did.
I know, going back, that when you were 8, you started having this kind of pretend gigs in your bedroom. Could you tell a little about that, your first impression?
Yeah, when I was about 8, like, I probably thought I was really hip and getting into music, and the most grooviest people around were ABBA, and I even had ABBA socks, which I admit it, I had ABBA socks. Okay, I did. And my friend and I used to dance around the lounge room and into hairbrushes or something or other, and of course I was the blonde one and she was the dark one. To be honest, I never even knew their names. And we just have our pretend ABBA concerts.
Did you dream of becoming a pop star, or was it acting? That was
I guess when I was about the same age as when Grease came out, the movie with Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta, and that was such a success. All the kids loved it. We used to just all do the Grease Lightning dance at school and after school and at lunchtime. And so I really looked up to Olivia Newton-John. I thought, oh wow, she's so skinny, she's so beautiful, and she can sing, and blah blah blah. Just what every other kid was saying at that time. So yeah, I mean, it's funny to think back that I was singing into hairbrushes, but I think every kid does that.
But you started acting so early, when you were like 10. How did you get into it? And you remember your first day when you actually did your screen test?
I can't. Yes, I can. I can vaguely remember the screen test. I remember learning a script to go in for the audition, and I really can't remember much of it. I've got a terrible long-term memory, But yeah, I did it. It was just one of those things. I certainly don't have pushy showbiz parents that were saying, come on, you know, go and do some acting, we'll make you a star. It was none of that.
In what way did the kids at school react? Because you were TV,
Yeah.
which is everybody would see.
I don't know, I guess they were a bit jealous. Probably picked on me a bit more. I can't remember. I think I didn't get too much hassle.
How would you describe yourself as a teenager?
As a teenager, I was pretty quiet. Yeah, not very confident. Didn't like school, you know, had boyfriends, went out to the pictures. Very normal.
You know, we started showing Neighbours in Scandinavia. Could you tell me the best memory you had from those years?
My best memory from Neighbours would be, this won't apply to the Scandinavians for a long time because it's a fair way into the show, but my brother comes into the show, not my real brother. Craig McLaughlin plays Henry, which is Charlene's brother. And he was a real clown at work all the time, and on April Fool's Day we said, okay, let's get Craig because he's always playing tricks on everyone else. So when he got to work we all went, oh, like, you were called in an hour ago, and like, you can never afford to be late on set because there's so much to do. So he was into the makeup chair, makeup on, hair done, dressed and out, and he was really panicking. And there's this really nasty character in the show called Mrs. Mangle, and everyone hates her. And the lady that plays Mrs. Mangle is the quietest lady, she's very, you know, demure. And she said to Craig in the nastiest way, "You've got no right to hold everybody up," and really scared him. And then when he got in and everyone said, "Ah, April Fool," he was so stroppy the whole day. It was good to get him back.
I know that your sister, Danny, is following in your footsteps.
Yeah.
Is she doing a soap and planning a career?
She's done some recording in New York. She's recording an album very soon. And yeah, she's joined the cast of Home and Away, which is a series that is shown obviously in Australia and in England.
Does she ask you for advice, career advice?
Not necessarily, but I did go through her audition script with her when she went for the show she did before that. And I think she knows from seeing what I did with Neighbours how difficult it is. I mean, she knows what she's letting herself in for.
You know, you're traveling so much and so on. I read all about this, that you work yourself sick. Is this true, or is it just kind of like, you know?
No, the press love to say that I'm anorexic and I don't eat, and you know, I'm having a nervous breakdown, but I mean, it is very exhausting traveling, and it's lots of hard work. And sure, I get sick like anybody else, but no, I'm not on my deathbed.
What is this about you being scared of flying?
No, I don't like flying. I'm not a very good flyer. I get all nervous.
What is the funniest thing you read about yourself?
Funniest thing would have to be that I'm an alien, and secondly would have to be that I've been to a hypnotist 6 times. I only paid my bill the first time, and the reason I'm anorexic, which I'm not anorexic, is that I died of starvation in previous life during the potato famine. They're the best stories I've read. They deserve medals.
Did you ever wanted not to be famous when, you know, you have people around you all the time?
Yeah, I mean, there is good and bad sides to everything, I guess, and with what I'm doing now, it's great to be successful, and I'm really pleased with what I'm doing. I enjoy it. And the drawback would have to be loss of private life, and at those times, you know, sometimes you read those press reports and you think, oh, give me a break, you know. I wish I was just a checkout chick down the road and I wouldn't have any of these problems. But, you know, I'm sure the checkout chick down the road has problems as well, so everyone has to deal with them in the best way they know how.
Is it hard for you to relax when you finally have some days? Or you...
Yeah, it is, because I'm working at such a fast pace, you know, like this all the time, and I've got to get there, and I've got to have a photo session, interviews and TV or whatever. So if I get 4 days off or something, it's really not time to wind down. I'm still on the phone and I'm getting faxes, and still I find it hard to remove myself then. But you know, I get days off now and then.
So what do you do when you're relaxing?
Depends. If I was at home, I would just be go and see the family or see friends, go down the beach, go to the pictures, watch a video, anything that's not work. And if I was away, I would probably try and find where the shops are and go shopping.
Tell me about your style, because a lot of people, you know, fashion, people follow that, the kids.
I wear a lot of Australian fashion, a lot of young Australian designers. And I've got the best excuse for shopping because, well, you can't be seen in something all the time, can you? I mean, I can say that as a joke, but I get in such a pickle sometimes because I think, oh, I can't wear that again. People are going to think I never take it off. So, as I say, if I have a couple of hours, I'll go and hunt out the shops and try and pick up some bargains.
And how would you describe your style?
Pretty casual. If I'm not working, you'll find me in a t-shirt and jeans. That's all. If I'm working, I'll try and take care of my appearance a bit more, though I'm not really much to speak of at the moment. But you know, things like stage clothes are really exciting as well because you can afford to go way over the top.
Do you listen to a lot of music?
Yeah, because I fly so much, it's good to have a Walkman or a Discman, and I listen to a lot of black music, Prince, Sade, Alexander O'Neill. I listen to lots of different people.
Would you like to do cover versions of some of your favourites?
I'd love to do a Jackson's cover version, ABC or something.
All right. Let me talk a little about your film. Could you describe the film and your part in it?
The film it's a drama, it's not comedy. It's more or less a modern day Romeo and Juliet. It's a love story. And it's about two characters called Brownie and Lola. I play Lola. And it's set in the 50s, and it's about these two kids that fall in love and they struggle to stay together when all these different authorities don't want them to be together because they think that spells trouble. And you know, in the 50s, if you listened to rock and roll and wore bright bobby socks, everyone thought you were a delinquent. I mean, what I hope comes across in the movie is that before the 50s, there wasn't really dance music. So, I mean, the 50s was such a revolutionary time, you know. They had got Laminex and TV and all the things that we take for granted today. So the movie, it has a lot of drama, it's got tragedy, it's also got comedy. It's a very nice story. And even though it is set in the 50s, it's still relevant to kids today because all kids fight with their parents. They want to run away from home, you know. It's a good story.
What was your hardest scene to do in it?
Oh gosh, I had a few difficult scenes. The ones that I thought would be the hardest, I probably was so worried about them they actually turned out being easier than ones that I didn't think twice about. It really developed me more as an actor, and I discovered new things about myself. I mean, trying to play a part, a character who's had experiences that I haven't had. I had to just try and imagine what that would be like, or you know, draw from different experiences that might add up to the same experience. So it was good. I mean, it's very hard work, and I don't know how the film will turn out. I haven't seen the finished product. There's still some post-production to do. So fingers crossed that it will be very good.
Were you scared making the move because it was it's a good part?
A bit daunting, yeah, because being my first film, there's very high expectations of me, and I know I'll get criticised a lot, no matter how good my performance is. So with that set aside, I just tried to do the best job that I can, and I'm proud of what I did, although I do look back and think, oh, I wish I'd done this and that. But that's the best I did at that time, and it's another step.
How was it working with Charlie Schlatter, and how did he become involved in the project?
The producers were after an American to open up the American market, so the storyline was altered to accommodate that. And Charlie was great fun. He was just the craziest person on set, you know, always mucking around and cracking jokes, and he really kept the set alive.
What is David Bowie's involvement?
Very little, actually. I guess he was so busy doing his Tin Machine album and tour that he wasn't quite as involved as he would have liked to have been. he wanted to meet me before production began to, I guess, to see if I could act, see if I was up to scratch. And then we proceeded with production. And I really don't think he's been too actively involved, but he must have some, must want to be involved in some way, because he really was into it at the beginning.
Did you need to do a screen test?
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you do? Which?
I did 3 scenes. Did a couple that that I'm not sure if he chose them or the director chose them, and one that I chose. So, you know, it was a balanced composition.
You also had your 21st birthday during the filming.
That was a bit of a pain. I had to fly back and fly from Brisbane to Melbourne and then back again, which is a 2-hour flight. And in the middle of filming, I couldn't really let loose and, you know, go crazy on my birthday. But that was good. A few of the people from the cast came down, or Charlie came down, and a guy that was driving us up there came down to Melbourne for my party, so it worked out well.
Great. Could you tell me your favourite films and why?
My favourite film is My Life as a Dog, which I think is Swedish, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's my favourite film. I saw that in America. I was with my family there, and we went to this little dive of a movie house, this little 50s place, and they were having a double feature on, and My Life as a Dog started. We didn't know anything about it, and there were subtitles, and we all went, oh, groan, subtitles, oh no, what have we let ourselves in for? And it turned out to be the best movie. I just love it. I mean, that kid was so cute.
What about actors?
I admire a lot of actors. People like Deborah Winger, Jack Nicholson, all the greats.
How often do you go to cinema then?
Not very often. I find it's the same with most people. You don't go to the cinema for ages and ages, and then one week you'll go and you'll remember how much fun it is, and then you'll go like 3 times in 2 weeks or something, and then of course you won't go for another couple of months. So I haven't been in a while. The last time I went was to the Batman premiere.
Right. What did you think of Batman?
I thought it was good. It's a shame that with all the hype, you sort of came out thinking, oh, you know, but I think if you take it just as a movie, it was a good movie. If you forget all the hype.
Right. Let me change the subject to how do you spend Christmas?
Christmas is like this studio, it's boiling hot. Although last Christmas it was warm, but it was raining. It was really tropical. It's very strange. So I know that people over here just can't imagine what a hot Christmas would be like. Most people think that all Australians go and have Christmas down on the beach and have a barbecue and put prawns on the barbie, but it's not quite like that. We still have Christmas trees like with fake snow on it, you know, and all the Christmas cards have got snow on them. So we celebrate it much in a same style that you would, but we just don't have the snow.
So, what would be your best Christmas memory? Do you remember one?
I've got one really vivid Christmas memory because I got a pram that year and I was really excited. Must have been about 7. And I got this dolly pram, and actually the same day I was collapsing the pram down. I got my fingers stuck in it. And my dad had to lift the pram up, and I was crying and crying and crying. So I guess that's why I remember that Christmas, come to think of it.
What about buying Christmas presents? Do you spend a lot of time doing that?
I love getting Christmas presents, and of course I try and get super organised every year, but every year I leave it till the last minute and rush around and think, oh, I don't know what to get everyone. But it's quite annoying because when I'm travelling, I see things that would be great for presents, but it's just a bit awkward to carry them all the way back to Australia. So I'll try and keep that in mind this year and look for small presents.
Do you always spend it with your whole family? Or?
Yeah, we have a big Christmas. We have my immediate family, which is mum and dad and my brother and sister. And my mum has 2 sisters and 3 brothers, and they've got kids and the grandparents and cousins. And so we have a big Christmas day.
Do you walk around the Christmas trees, things like that?
Around the Christmas tree?
Yeah, that's what we did in Scandinavia.
No, no, Christmas trees are normally stuck in the corner of the room.
Okay. Also, one other thing, what does the 80s mean to you? I mean, now at the end of the 80s.
If I was to look back on the 80s, it would be probably the best years of my life because it signifies all my teenage years and all my career has happened in the 80s. I guess that's it. It would mean really special, a very special time.
Some people compare or say you are like the 80s Doris Day. How do you feel about that sort of?
I don't know. I don't know much about Doris Day. I guess that's a compliment.
Yes, it is.